Hello, welcome to Coffee with Jude. Have you ever felt overwhelmed with your writing project and felt like you have all these ideas scattered everywhere and you can't pull them together and you just feel so disorganized? All the little parts of the book, like what title are you going to use? Or how am I going to work in conflict? How do I use reflective voice? All the things that you know that you should do that you're working on trying to incorporate into your book. Well, I came up with a little chart that you can fill out to help you organize and pull together all these little parts. So, watch the video and you can download the PDF for this form that you can fill out, and I hope you find it helpful. Coffee with Jude.
So, where do you start your book? How do you pick a topic? At first, the idea of writing a book is just so overwhelming. And I remember the feeling of being so confused, like where am I going to start? What's this going to be exactly about? And there's so many things that come to mind that it's almost keeps you from getting started. So this lesson's going to have a mind map to help you with this. And even if you've already written your first draft, it will help you sort things out. I'm not a big proponent of outlines. The brain doesn't really work in a linear fashion. It's more like a spider network. And so I have a tool that I used, which I call a mind map, to sift out the different parts of the book, like for instance the structure and the possible titles. None of the things in this network have to be related or under each other. It just helps you remember everything that you want to include and helps you think out, what is my inner story? What is my outer story? And maybe even some titles that you are thinking of.
So this is the one for my book, Sunlight on My Shadow, that I did. So on the top, I've got structure. So how am I going to do this? Am I going to write it out in chronological order, or am I going to move stuff around? I think probably most of us find it easier to write in chronological order, and then later, after it's done, you can move stuff around. So it's going to be in chronological order. It's going to start out many years past the event and then flashes back. I have three parts. Are you going to have different parts? Like part one is going to be before the event. The event is that I got pregnant when I was a teenager. That's my childhood. And then during the event, and then after the event, I'm searching for my child that was adopted. Then tense, what tense do you want to use? Sometimes present tense makes it feel more vivacious and alive. I ended up using past tense, but you want to be consistent. It doesn't all have to be one tense, but if in a section you're using past tense, you want to be consistent with that and keep it past tense. Then I have possible titles. I was going to call it at first Good Girl, Bad Girl. Sunlight on My Shadow took a long time to come by. I like that title because the shadow, of course, was the grief and the shame of this teen pregnancy, and the sunlight was the coming to terms with it and looking back and understanding the young child that experiences. Another title was Chewing Gum and a Broken Rubber. I like that title, but it seemed too flippant. And then what is the book about? You can list certain themes. For me, looking back on a traumatic teen event, freedom from secrecy is powerful, damage done by secrets. And then list the opportunities that you're going to have to use the reflective voice. Now, this is the voice of you now that's reflecting back to your story. So you want to ask yourself the questions: what did I feel about it then? And what do I feel about it now? And this helps you use this reflective voice, which is super powerful for a memoir, because the reader wants to know, okay, so this happened to you, so what? So you have to learn something from it. And that's how you do it, by using reflective voice. So these were the questions I asked myself. What was I thinking after it happened? How did I think I was going to get out of this? How do I feel about giving the baby up now? How did I feel about giving the baby up then? And what could have I done differently? And how did I change as a result of writing the book? What did I learn? Well, I can't help answering that question. What did I learn? It was the damage that's done by keeping secrets, and how if you really do come clean or explore your story, then you can really understand why you did what you did. And for me, what I learned was it freed me of the shame and the guilt. Okay, so then what happened? This is on the right side of the structure. The outer story of chain of events. So I got pregnant at 16. I had the baby, gave her up for adoption. I was scared at school. I was hungry all the time. I had morning sickness. I never talked to anyone. I found my child when she was 26. I searched and waited, and then I found her. These aren't in order. Freedom from secrecy is really powerful. That was the outer story. The inner story was, what's the point? I told a lie to save my reputation, but the lie did not help my confidence or my self-esteem. In fact, it hurt it more. Secrets do more harm than good. And when you accept who you are truly free. And then the conflict and the tension that was in my book was, how is Judy going to tell her parents about this? How is she going to come clean? What will happen to her pregnancy? Who adopted the baby? And will she find the child she gave up for adoption? Will she continue to make poor choices? One of the reviews on my book said, I can't believe Judy just kept continuing to make poor choices. Yeah, it took me a long time to learn that. How will she change? And so that is a great way to organize all your thoughts and using a mind map to sift things out. Of course, this will change the more you write. If you're just starting out, you're going to just be guessing at all these answers. And then once you've written the book, you can do it again after you've completed your first draft, and everything will become more clear. So that's the use of the mind map.